Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brew and Orange podcast on August 19th. It's about 7:20 p.m. So we got another loaded show for you. I say that every time, but whenever I think we may not have enough content, boy, do I find it, and I'm going to bring it to you every single time. So here we go. We're going to talk some Gator recruiting. All Gator fans have heard about the potential opt-outs at wide receiver. We're going to cover the depth that sits behind them. There's also some other stuff that we got going on in the recruiting world as it pertains to practices going on. Let's go ahead and get started with my favorite part of the podcast. I love talking Gator recruiting, but I love introducing new beers, new breweries to y'all. It's just fun. It's the brew part of Brew and Orange, and that's what we're here to do. Let's get to the brew. So I was super pumped earlier this week when Hidden Springs said they were going to do a can release. Look at that, Loud Whispers from Southern Grist Brewery in Nashville. I love Nashville. If you haven't been, you should travel. Yeah, Cody, this is Brew and Orange. What happened to the local beers? Well, I got plenty of local beers, but you don't find Loud Whisper in Tampa very often. So it's local now because it's at my house. I got it from Hidden Springs Ale Works, down across from Eulalie, down by the Riverwalk down there. Fantastic place. Go check them out. I'm going to grab some more of their beers for us on Friday. But I saw their Southern Grist was bringing down some cases of Loud Whisper. Not just this. This is a New England style hazy IPA, 5% ABV. I had to jump on it, go on their website, order the beer to go down there, pick it up at the time that you select. Easy peasy, and then you're drinking something awesome. So let's go ahead and crack this like we do every time. I'm going to crack it, pour it, rate it, and then we're going to move on to some Gator recruiting. Ooh, let me get that right in front of the mic for everybody to hear. So like we always do, I hope everyone had a great Wednesday, productive Wednesday, a safe Wednesday. It's all down here to the weekend. All my Gator fans or all my craft beer fans out there listening, hey, the semester starts next week. Let's have some fun. Tonight, we're going to definitely have some fun on Friday. We got big semesters coming up. Everyone's nervous. Everyone's wondering about COVID. We're not going to worry about that here. We're here to talk about the good times. Drink to the Gators, drink to the Lightning, the Rays. We're going to cover all of it. So let's get this bad boy poured up. For all those watching, you're going to get to see this delicious goodness go right into the glass. For all you listening, you heard the crack of the beer. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel just so you can get the full effect. So, again, I don't have a Hidden Springs or Southern Grist t-shirt, but you know what I do have? I got the drink beer from here. Look at that little skull and crossbones right there in the Tampa Bay area. Please drink from the Tampa Bay area. Support your local breweries. Support your local restaurants. And here we go. Let's get this poured up. And as you expect, I'm going to raise the glass for all you watching. You got that citrusy, delicious, hazy-looking beer getting poured into my classic can cup right here. I love these cups because you can fit the whole 16-ounce can in here with room to spare. There it is. Classic, beautiful pour here on Orange. Here on Brew and Orange. Don't get it mixed up. Brew and Orange. And cheers to everybody. Happy hump day. Let's see what this is going to be rated. I already got high hopes for this. Cheers. Oh, boy. Nothing whisper about that. That's as loud as it gets, as hazy as it gets, as tasty as it gets. 5% ABV, Southern Grist Brewery, available now at Hidden Springs. Go online, order you some. They got some sours, some stouts, and grab yourself some Hidden Springs while you're down there because it's all good, and we're going to have some more coming to you Friday. That there's a 4.25. Again, I'll let you get a look at that. It's as hazy as it gets. You're not seeing the finger behind that. It's. I know I keep saying it, but that's a golf course beer. That's a beach beer. That's why I love these hazy IPAs. They're very drinkable. They are crushable. Again, Loud Whispers, Southern Grist Brewery, originated kind of brewing out of Nashville. If you haven't been, you got to go. It's a good time, but pick it up right now locally. See what I did there? Out-of-state beer. You can get it locally. That's what we do here. Let's jump right in to some really good stuff we got here. Everybody knows the topic of conversation right now is, oh boy, Copeland, Grimes, Tony, they opted out of practice. Are they coming back? Are they not? We don't know yet. Neither of them have said anything officially on social media to the coach. Your guess is as good as mine, and my guess is as good as Mullins right now. He doesn't know right now. However, maybe we find out something tomorrow because he will be live doing a Zoom meeting with the media. Hopefully David Waters goes, Hopefully David Waters puts that on Twitter because I promise I will watch it and I will bring you all that information on Friday. So what matters if Grimes, Tony, and Copeland are out is what is sitting behind them. And right now I've got to tell you, it may not be experienced, but it's potentially very, very talented. Let's talk a little. I know I brought up the names behind them last episode. I left a few guys out. I went and did a little more in-depth research for you on each one of those guys. This is a recruiting podcast. That's kind of how I started it. So let's get into the recruiting part of this. It's also going to shine a light on how is Florida recruiting at the wide receiver position, and I'm going to tell you right now. Let's start with the veteran on the roster, but not a veteran in experience in playing time on the field, Rick Wells. He was a 3-star wide receiver out of Jacksonville, signed in 2016. He's been on the roster for quite some time. I grossly exaggerated his stats last 2 podcasts ago. He only has 2 catches and 27 yards in his time at Florida since 2016. So, yes, that's a lack of experience right there if I've ever seen it. However, he is no stranger to being praised on the practice field. He's playing hard. He's lifting hard. He's jumping, making catches, diving catches. His teammates respect him. His teammates shout him out all the time for working hard, and so does Mullen. So, hey, I guess if you don't have all the experience on the field, the coaches recognize it. And if Grimes, Tony, Copeland, knows what's expected from him. So, we'll have to wait and see on that because right now the rumor is that those guys are expected back, either 1, 2, or all. I don't know, and that includes Zach Carter. I heard today something very interesting. There have been some discrepancies in the reporting. I read today that Zach Carter has a dog bite on his leg, keeping him out of practice, and it's not necessarily all about the opt-out. So that is to be seen. Like I said, Mullen will be live tomorrow. Maybe we will get some more information on that. Behind Rick Wells is someone very intriguing, Trent Whitmore, a 3-star wide receiver out of Gainesville, signed in 2019, saw very limited action in 1 game last year and redshirted after that. Sports Illustrated, the Gator version of that, kind of came out with a sleeper article about who could surprise you on either side of the field. He did play safety in high school, recruited as a wide receiver. He is 6'3". That's going to remember the height there because that's going to be important as we go through this list. Played safety. He's going to play wide receiver at Florida. Sports Illustrated said you could see him on both sides of the field. That speaks to his athletic ability. And so that means it's someone to look at as someone potentially who could step up and fill a void if needed. After Trent Whitmore, we have Jamarcus Weston, 3-star wide receiver from Clearwater right here in the kind of Tampa Bay area. He signed in the 2019 class. He too redshirted last season. He too is 6'3". You see a pattern here. So no experience on the field. He didn't see the field the way Trent Whitmore did. After that, you have Xavier Henderson, obviously the brother of C.J. Henderson, who was our first-round draft pick to the Jaguars. This is your blue-chip, highest-rated wide receiver on the staff who's not a transfer. We will talk about that in a second. Everyone expects big things from this guy. He's 6'3.5", top 100 nationally, signed out of a high school in Miami. As you can see, Florida continues to have success recruiting in South Florida, and that means a lot. I imagine he's in shape. I imagine that C.J. Henderson has filled him in on how these camps go. We're going to have to, if 1, 2, or 3 are sitting out, you're going to have someone step up. After that, you have Jaquavion Fraziers. He is from Denellen, Florida. He's 6'3.5", also signed in the 2020 class. So he's a baby on the field, a baby on the roster right now. The experience he's getting on the practice field right now is all he has. So that's another blue chip guy from the 2020 class that Florida is going to count on to be productive, make the plays if Tony Grimes or Copeland are out. And I'm going to tell you right here, give me Grimes and Copeland if I can have any two of those three, just because say what you will. Tony may make some fantastic plays from here to there. He virtually kept Florida in the game against Miami, if you remember the first game of last season. He had that big play, that big run. He shook, he juked, he jived, and he got to the end zone and put the momentum in Florida's side for the remainder of that game. So, yes, Tony is a spectacular guy when you get the ball in his hands, but he has been injury prone. And you also have heard Mullen said he just needs to catch the ball and run forward. He does do a lot of dancing and jiving in the back. Maybe that contributes to the injuries, the shaky knees, shaky ankles, who knows. But honestly, give me Copeland, give me Grimes, the higher rated, the bigger athletes. Those are who I want if I'm going to pick. And that sounds bad. I know all three of these guys can make their own decisions, but we're talking strictly on paper production here. Give me Grimes, give me Copeland. We saw them both make huge plays. After Jaquavion Frazier, we got two transfer wide receivers, very different transfer wide receivers. You've got Justin Shorter. If the name sounds familiar, it's because he was the 8th ranked prospect coming out of the 2018 class. Again, 5-star, 8th best recruit in 2018 class, went to Penn State. He's 6'4". You hear that? 6'4", 6'3.5", 6'3.5", 6'3". If you haven't figured it out, Mullen and Billy Gonzalez love a tall wide receiver. Those are the guys who get it up. They make the play. They create that yard after catch. They're lengthy. They're fast. That is one thing coming out of practice right now is these wide receivers are fast. They demand the attention of the defensive backs, and they're getting above the rim. They're catching those balls, bringing in those deep ball passes, and that's what makes Kyle Trask looks good. That's what makes other wide receivers look at Florida and say, I want to play for them, okay? I'm a big guy. I want to play for them. So you have Jordan Pouncey. Let me go back to Justin Shorter real quick. I'm sorry. He had limited playing time at Penn State. 13 receptions, 140 yards, no touchdowns, about 11 yards after catch. His potential is way above that. There were some injuries, some weight questions. That is a wait and see type thing right now. We all expect big things from Justin Shorter, but he is waiting still on his waiver. Man, we're firing off right now, feeling pumped. Cheers to everybody again. Happy Wednesday. Before I drink this, I do want to just stop and say, check out beerthrone.com. Pick out your favorite shirts for him, for her. Pick out your glassware and put in Brew and Orange as a capital B, capital O, one word, Brew and Orange at checkout to get 15% off of your purchase. That's going to go a long way because already the stuff on that site is affordable. So cheers again to everybody. That beer is delicious. If you're in Nashville, hit up Southern Grist. If you don't plan on going to Nashville, all you got to do is go down to Hidden Springs and get yourself some of that. So the group that is planning on opting out, Copeland, Grimes, Tony, they are experienced. Who's filling in is inexperienced, talented, and tall, if you did not catch that. So you need 1, 2, all of those guys, fingers crossed. Mullen says he expects opt-outs. So if you're a Gator fan, expect the worst. Hope for the best. You just never know in this time, and it ain't for us to judge. We're just fans. They're the ones who are living it. So fingers crossed we get some of them guys back. Not that we don't have talent. It's just inexperienced talent right now. And like I said, give me Grimes, give me Copeland. So Florida Gator recruiting fans, if you follow it like I do, Wardrick Wilson is a name you probably remember from the 2019 class. He was originally from the Bahamas, and when he went back after his senior year, he experienced some visa issues that stopped him from joining that 2019 class. He was eventually released from his 2019 letter of intent. He's back now, but not with Florida. He's looking at schools like Georgia Tech, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Old Dominion, Tennessee. He's going to gauge Florida's interest this week. Maybe Mullen has some more on that. Maybe some of the media members will ask Mullen about that. He's an offensive lineman from the Miami area. He was a 4-star recruit. People were very happy about him coming into the 2019 years. Why wouldn't you? He's a big, nimble guy for his size. Would have definitely added some depth and talent at the offensive line, which is something we will get to on Friday as well. So that is to be determined, to be seen whether or not Wardrick Wilson ends up as a Florida Gator. I don't think so. Kind of how everything is going right now, it's not seeming like he's going to rejoin the Gator class right now. So that is what it is. Interesting thing, we did see the Florida schedule released, and we saw that Ole Miss was the first game of the season at Ole Miss, visiting Oxford for the first time in decades. And Lane Kiffin, we're going to be seeing Lane Kiffin, some old Florida commits like Matt Corral, in that week of September, opening up the season in Ole Miss. Well, DraftKings released their opening lines for the game, and they've got Florida favored at 11.5 right now. It is August 19th. That line's going to shift. If the game was tomorrow, give me the over significantly, because on paper, and we're just going to assume we got Grimes, Toney, and Copeland on there, because that's what the roster says. You put those two rosters side to side, give me Florida by 14, by 17, that sort of thing. That 11.5 line is generous. Maybe they know something we don't know. But we play the game, Florida fans, myself, you, we are going to be happy just to see the game. So I thought that was interesting in itself. Now, back to some more recruiting type stuff. Right now, we have a 4-star defensive end, Justice Boone, committed to Florida. He committed very, very early in the cycle. Say what you will about the talent that gets offered or landed by this Florida staff. This here is an instance where their evaluations early in the period are paying off, and hopefully we are able to keep Justice Boone because, as you know, Tunmise, the 4-star top 100 player, decommitted from Ohio State last week. Well, to make up for that, who did they target? None other than Justice Boone, Florida commit right now. So he tweeted out he was blessed to receive an offer from Ohio State. Who wouldn't be? Ohio State is a premier, top-notch program in college football right now. You can't blame them. You always kind of get worried if a program of that stature comes in late in the game. I wouldn't be worried. There's been no smoke, no talk of Justice Boone wavering from his commitment to Florida. But I think, if anything, this shows what a great evaluation the staff did early on in the cycle, early on in this class, by offering him very early before the Alabamas, Ohio States, Georgias, and Clemson. So great job, staff. Hopefully he sticks. You can always use depth, talented depth on that defensive line. So there were some rumors going around. Was Kyle Pitts going to sit out? He was kind of one of those candidates like your Micah Parsons at Penn State, someone who could benefit potentially from sitting out this year, getting ready for the draft as a probable first-round draft pick. Pitts has been dialed in. He's been on the practice field the last 2 days. I don't think we have to worry about that unless he pulls a complete 360 and kind of opts out later. But if he's on the practice field, he must be feeling safe and comfortable in his environment. We need Pitts because of what we talked about at the beginning. If Grimes, Copeland, or Toney, either combination of those three guys are out, Mullen loves to use Pitts, not just at tight end, but puts him out on the edges to play wide receiver. His size and speed is unmatched. We saw what he could do against the defenses last season. Fingers crossed that you get some of those guys back, and you also can complement that with Toney. That's important because some of the notes from practices are that the other tight ends are not impressing. Let's all take a deep breath. It's only practice number 2. Mullen is concerned about the developmental issues. They pride themselves on developing talent. Without time, it is hard to develop that talent. So let's put our trust in Mullen and company and hope that not just Pitts, but the other tight ends, Keon Zipperer from Lakeland, he was a top 100, number 2 tight end in the 2019 class. We got to hope he develops hard. So, again, something interesting that I did not talk about. Strickland reached out to the FSU athletic director about playing this game in Tallahassee. No fans. Let's play the game. Let's keep the streak going. We've played Florida State for decades now with no interruptions. The AD at Florida State wants nothing to do with it. He said there is no benefit to Florida State for playing this game. Sounds like a cop-out to me. Sounds like you don't want another 40-burger put on you 3 years in a row. So who blames them? But Florida wants to see it. Man, I remember being there in 2006. I got to see Tim Tebow play in Tallahassee. Great stuff. Hopefully we're all back in the stadium here sometime soon, rooting on the orange and blue while getting your information from Brew and Orange. So let's move right into so here's some more recruiting stuff. Let me back up real quick. I almost skipped a bullet point here. There's always talk about why is the defensive staff at Florida recruiting at such a high level compared to the offensive staff at Florida, the Billy Gonzalez, Dan Mullen. Well, it says here the offensive staff, the offensive recruiting coaches, they have a particular style of recruit that they go after. They don't put so much worth and trust in the rankings, rivals, 247, that sort of thing. It says here they trust their evaluations more than the stars. Take what you will from that. I just know that when I watch teams like Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia and Ohio State, let's just name all of them, LSU as well, they've got the blue chip, top 100 prospects from all over the country. It makes a difference. We can have this argument till we're blue in the face. I think it wins out every time. You've got to have those blue chip guys who are ready to go. I understand that you are confident in your evaluations. However, it should be easy to evaluate a top 100 guy at wide receiver, at running back. Now, Dan Mullen, Brian Johnson done a great job with Anthony Richardson, Emory Jones, guys like that. But look what they got out of Kyle Trask. It's hard for me to argue that. So they trust their evaluations. They look for a particular style of recruit on offense. Defense is a different story. They're closing guys like the Justice Boone, like the Gervin Dexter, the Derek Wingo, the Tyrone Hopper, those top 100 blue chip guys, program-changing guys, the Marco Wilsons, okay, the Kyer Elams. We need those names on offense. That's when you really start. Imagine what Mullen and company can do with those blue chip top 100 prospects at the skill positions, especially it's not a skill position, but at the offensive line. We've seen what schools like Georgia are able to do with an offensive line and with the top-rated running backs. You get multiple 1,000-yard rushers. You take pressures off the quarterback, and it opens up more plays downfield for these 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" recruits coming in. So that's kind of all I've got for you for Florida recruiting. I'm going to briefly touch on some Tampa Bay sports roundup, and obviously the big story today is that the Lightning went ahead, closed out Game 5, closed out Series 1 against the Columbus Blue Jackets, 5-4 fashion. Overtime, the way the series started is how it ended. Braden Point, top shelf, flick of the wrist, series over, moving on to Game 2. Waiting tonight, possibly to see the Flyers close out that series against the Canadiens. Sorry if you heard that in there. My wife's in there breaking dishes. Just kidding. Love you, Jamie. So again, everyone, Lightning fans, get ready to watch your next opponent. Go watch the Flyers and Canadiens series tonight. I don't have any information on when round 2 is going to start because potentially tonight 4 round 1 playoff matchups could end today. Make that 3 since the Lightning went ahead and took care of business. So cheers again, man. This is a fun podcast. It's been a fun week. And we got a lot to talk about on Friday. Make sure you come and see us on Friday. I'll have Justin sitting right next to me. There's big news coming. We've got logos. We've got reconstructed websites. We've got the whole 9 yards. Just hang with us. Thanks for everyone who watches. Cheers and happy Wednesday. All right. So we talked about the Lightning. Let's go ahead and talk about the Rays. They're 10-2 since August 6th. Lau is leading the team in average. Let's see, average RBIs, home runs, all the major offensive categories. Brendan Lau is exceedingly excellent right now. And I think he's batting 500 in the last 5 games. Unreal right now. In the majors in general, he is 11th in average. He is 5th in runs. And he is 6th in home runs. That's big time because people like Tatis Fernando, he's doing great. Mike Trout's having a big year, and Lau is right behind him in all of those offensive statistical categories in majors. So I don't expect this team to slow down anytime soon. They're playing right now against the Yankees. As soon as I log off of here, you better believe I'm turning it on. I'll be taking some notes. We'll be coming full speed at you Friday with tons of Tampa sports news. And one other thing, the Buccaneers, we've all seen it. Gronk and Brady are connecting like the old times. There's plenty of videos out there from training camp. Brady's hitting Gronk with ease. Gronk's a big man. Let's hope he can get used to this Florida, this Tampa humidity. It's sticky, it's heavy, different than what he is used to up in New England. Brady doesn't seem to be bothered by it right now. Maybe that's pliability workouts. Maybe that's TB12. There's a free shout out for you, Tom Brady. Mike Evans and the other Bucks, and I'm going to keep it short with them because I want Justin to be in here. I want him talking about this. Mike Evans, that's my wife waving to me on the live feed comments. Hello, beautiful. Okay, so you got Mike Evans, Bucks, Mike Evans and other veterans are constantly praising Brady's preparation and what he is doing and what he's bringing to the team as a whole. He's made other players elevate their level of play, their level of preparation. That's going to show through in the game. I have no doubt about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, 27 minutes in, that's going to be the Brew and Orange podcast, episode 8. Don't forget to check us out, Twitter, Instagram, brewandorange.com. Go and check us out. Show us some love and show your local breweries, your local restaurants. Show them love. Go get yourself some drink beer from here t-shirts. You want a t-shirt, go to beerthrone.com. At checkout, Brew and Orange, all one word, capital B, capital O, Brew and Orange at checkout, get you 15% off. We covered a lot today in recruiting. I'm going to have just as much, if not more, on Friday. Again, Mullen goes live on Zoom with the media tomorrow. There's bound to be some more breaking news. There's bound to be more talk about the opt-outs, and we're going to come to you with that news. I'll give you my opinion. I'll shoot it to you straight. Come see us. Again, cheers to everybody. Look at that loud whisper from Southern Grist, and you can get it right downtown at Hidden Springs. Go check them out. I want that Karma Shenanigans from Hidden Springs. I'm going to get that, and maybe we have that on Friday. So go Gators, go Bolts, go Bucks, go Rays, and go USF as well. Hey, just keep it light, keep it fun, keep it healthy. Wear your mask when you go out, but keep going out. We need to put that money back into the economy, back into the local market. We gotta help those people keep the food on their table because, hey, I don't want to sit in my house for too much longer. You know, Uber Eats only goes so far. I want to go sit out there. I want to feel the energy, especially when you're watching the Lightning rumble in to round 2 coming up. Probably facing the Flyers. Flyers could close it out tonight. I like the Lightning in that matchup. That's neither here nor there. We'll see you on Friday right here, Brew and Orange podcast. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope y'all catch this live on Friday or you catch it afterwards. Go to Anchor or wherever you like your podcast. This podcast is on 7 different streaming sites right now. Check us out. Big things coming. Cheers, everybody. Have a safe rest of your work week, and we will see you again on Friday. Go Gators.